What's up, guys? Nolan here, and this week in ARMA was awesome. We have two great mods doing some really cool things, one of which is Red Hammer Studios, always top-notch. They have a new faction called the Serbian Armed Forces to add to their 3 factions that they already had, and as usual, they look great. They've got some new vehicles, they got some new gear to check out. We'll get more into that in a little bit. And then on top of that, we've got an HFM Navy mod that adds 5 working warships, not just 1, 5, that they're actually drivable and shootable and everything else that's good about warships. We'll get more into that in a little bit. But for now, we're going to start with the Red Hammer Studios update with the Serbian Armed Forces. Specifically, you can go into the description, you can see the changelog, and you can see, well, for them, this isn't even a changelog for the Serbians here. This is just just the log in general of what you can use, but they've got just units in general. They have several scratch-built accurate uniforms in various camo patterns, and then they have new equipment models. For vehicles, they have many custom retextures of existing US and Russian vehicles, and then some new custom vehicles. And then for the weapons, they've got tons of new weapon models. Specifically, they got some different kinds of G36s and stuff in there that are kind of cool. Otherwise, you just have some AK variants and things like that. They even have a Barrett. They even gave them a Barrett there. So for the vehicles, they've got some Humvees, and they got some UAZs and some Urals and things like that. So it's a good combination, really, of the red and the blue sides here with Russian and the US. And then for the tank, they have an awesome T-72S that looks just badass. Looks awesome. Now we can go over to the green forces, where they did a couple of tweaks. They didn't really add too much other than a Scorpion and some different kinds of body armor and helmets and things like that, and a couple of different grenades. Nothing too drastic there. And then over to the Russians, however, they added a couple of different AK variants. They added a different kind of truck. They added this massive bomber called the Tu-95 that I actually didn't fly because it was just too loud. You guys would not want to see it. So I started it up, and it just went shrieking. But the payload is absolutely huge. It's got a tail gunner. It's really cool. The props are massive. Got like 8 different engines on there. It's nuts. And then they also have a Mi-28 attack helicopter, as well as an Mi-28N variant attack helicopter that they added. That was just really cool to see as well. And then also they got a couple of different tweaks with different kinds of new rounds for different guns. They have some new sights. Other than that, they just have some little tweaks here and there and improvements. So for more, go down in the description. You can actually see the full changelog for the Russian forces, but definitely cool for what they've done so far. Now on to the blue forces, where we've got the American forces here. They added M40 A5 sniper rifle. That's kind of cool. So they added a couple different kinds of silencers, some different attachments here and there with the different sights, and a new mine, a new airburst grenade, some different tow missiles, some different things here and there. But one of the biggest things they added is the new MRAP, specifically the M1232 6x6 MRAPs, or RG33L. And they just look badass. They look great on the inside and the outside. And then there's also a Rhino. I don't actually know what this Rhino thing is. I'm assuming it's some kind of mine detector thing on the front. But either way, they're really cool. They came with the same camos as before with the desert and the woodland. So unfortunately, they got rid of the older ones for some reason. I thought they would have kept those around just to have them, but they ended up getting rid of them. So no more of those MRAPs. Now we're just dealing with the new MRAPs. They actually added a new ATV called the MRZR, which I'm assuming is just something Razor, micro Razor or something. You actually hold 4 people, and it's kind of cool. Whoever's driving it, your primary weapon will actually sit on the dashboard. I thought that was kind of cool. And then what's also better than the usual ATV is that your passengers, which are now 3 instead of just 1, can all shoot in different directions. They can have their gun out and they can shoot as you're driving around. So that'll be kind of cool to have there as a piece of equipment. And then also on top of that, they've just got some other little improvements and upgrades and things like that for camos and several little minor things here and there. But actually more than several. Just they did quite a lot in this update. So now on to the HFM Navy mod. This adds 5 working warships into ARMA. They're drivable, they're shootable, and all their weapons work as they are right now. The textures aren't that great, but you also can't really get onto them. You can only pick a slot. Like if you put it into the mission folder, those of you guys that have made missions before will understand what I'm talking about. Or even if you've just gone into a server, actually, now that I think about it, you'll know what I'm talking about. When you pick your slot, you have to be the driver of the ship, or you have to be the front gunner of the ship, or whatever, in order to actually be on the ship. And it's okay if you use AI because you can still switch around, but in order to actually get onto it, you actually have to pick that slot. You can't actually go onto the helipad on the back with a helicopter because you'll just kind of fall through for some of them, and then for some of them, you won't even just go anywhere. You'll just be kind of floating there. So like I said, they don't work that great for that right now, and then also the textures need some work. But other than that, they're awesome. They're sinkable, they're shootable, they're drivable. We haven't really seen anything like that. We've seen a warship with the FFAA mod, but you can't drive that, so you can't really move it anywhere. And it's also kind of limited because it's just that one boat and it's got Spanish stuff everywhere, so you kind of know it's Spanish. So awesome job with that. I'm not trying to shrug that off at all because FFA mod, that's awesome. If you're trying to do infiltration mission for a ship, I still, hands down, obviously go for the FFA mod or FFAA mod, because you can still walk around that. And also you can go in the description if you don't know what I'm talking about and check out that video where I'm talking about that ship. But for these, you can't walk around them. You can only drive them, and then you can use their weapons, which are plentiful. They've got harpoon missiles, they've got deck guns, they've got Sea Whiz, they got smoke, they got 40mm cannons, 30mm cannons, 50 cals. They're nuts. They got tons of stuff. The patrol boats have different kinds of harpoons and torpedoes. Props to HAFM on doing this. I'm going to butcher his name, but on Armaholic here, he's Aplion, I guess? Aplion? I don't know how to pronounce that, sorry. But for sure, go ahead and in the description, you guys can find the link for the Armaholic link if you want to try that out for yourself. So that's it, guys. This was an awesome week for ARMA. We've got that badass HAFM Navy mod with those 5 warships, and then we've got the RHS update bringing us some new guns, new camos, new vehicles, and even a new nation with Serbia there. So specifically, I want to know, what do you guys want to see out of these mods? With all the potential that these guys have making these badass mods, what do you guys actually want to see? I'm really interested. And otherwise, guys, go in the description. You guys can see downloads for any of these mods, and then also the forum posts, as well as the RHS website to check out the change logs specifically for the things that they've changed and added. And then on top of that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I also hope that you have a nice day. See you guys.